All the chips are in place, pun intended. Uh, just listening to this video by Jason Burmis and Whitney Webb, which Elder Apostle Tar highlighted in the last video he did. And it's funny because yesterday when it was live, I actually was watching it while it was live, but I caught the towards the end of it, the last maybe 25 minutes or 20 minutes or so. And one thing I did notice was the chick was getting down, you know, and but you know, Spirit didn't really hit me to do a lesson on it. But Elder Apostle Tar caught it from the beginning, and when you watch it from the beginning, the chick, Wendy Webb, she mentions about this external surveillance and how all of these cities are being set up for surveillance. And she said pretty much that as a whole is pretty much setting it up for internal surveillance, which when she said internal surveillance, I thought about, you know, the microchip and how the microchip is going to take the place, so to speak, of this physical surveillance, because the physical surveillance can only gather so much, whereas the internal surveillance can capture everything about an individual. Now, how could that be done? How can all of this data be collected, you know, with surveillance or internal surveillance? Well, by the microchip, whether it's the RFID, Neuralink, or any type of device inserted into the body to collect this data. And when you watch, like around towards the, I believe it's towards the 30-minute mark, she speaks about, I believe she said implantable, wearables, and smart cities. So when she spoke about these smart cities and the implantables and wearables, of course, we that are in the know she's talking about the microchip, even though so far, that, from what I can recall of watching, I don't think she mentioned the word microchip, but I could be wrong. But when she spoke about the implantables, wearables, and smart cities, they've been planning these smart cities all along, because a smart city would be run off of data and different signals, you know, and the person themselves would be, you know, the person with the inserted microchip or brain implant would be like the remote control to stimulate that smart city. Now, we, like the scripture say, we have no certain dwelling place, because what we're doing is we're renting, you know, we're renting space, no matter, you know, where it is, maybe in a complex or a condo or an apartment, studio, whatever the case is, even a house. So essentially what we're doing is we're buying space month to month, you know, at that particular location. And if you don't pay the rent, they begin what's known as evictions, which they're starting to evict people a lot faster now than they would in the past. In the past, you had squatters' rights, but they're, I guess, finding legislation to get around those squatters' rights. So that brought that to mind, you know, that pretty much anything that we do in this society is a business transaction. Excuse me. Whether it's, you know, buying clothing, buying food, you know, buying certain essential things, or buying cars, or whatever the case may be, or paying rent, paying bills. Those are all business transactions. It all falls under the category of buying and selling. And in Revelation 13, it tells us that no man will be able to buy or sell save he that had the mark of the beast or the number of name, you know. And when you analyze that word mark and the different root words from it, you know, if the Spirit is working with you, you can see beyond a shadow of a doubt that it's dealing with the actual microchip, which every aspect of these root words is covered by those different points, because there's 3 root words and there's 3 points to the microchip. You have the microchip, which holds the information, or the microchip itself, which is the device, which is the charagma. You have the needle that inserts, which is the charax, which is the second of the root words. And then you have the information stored on this chip, which is the graphel, you know, which is or are the records that are inserted with that chip. And remember, the chip is activated when you move it or scan it over these certain readers. So if you have a smart city, then those smart cities, once you come within a certain range of it, your chip would be activated in order for you to open, let's say, the front gate, open your door to get into your house, turn on your appliances, turn on your lights, turn on the stove, you know, turn on whatever, the radio, you know, if you want to listen to some music or whatever the case is. So everything is being pushed in that direction, because at the end of the day, Esau, as it states in Isaiah the 14th chapter, they're trying to be like the Most High. That's why the chick Wendy Webb was saying that pretty much, you know, the most effective AI or artificial intelligence are the ones that collect the most data. So when you insert that microchip, what is that microchip doing in essence? Is collecting all of your data. Apostle Tar spoke about how he had to use his credit card, which now that leaves a footprint in the system of what he purchased. You know, just like all of us, whenever we have to use a credit card or debit card, it pretty much leaves a trail, you know, in the information age of what we bought. So they'll build a portfolio of, you know, us and what we like and what our likes and dislikes. So in essence, they want to be like the Most High, because the Most High also says that he tries the reins of man. Now, the reins of man happen to be the innermost seat of what we are made of, what we are comprised of. You know, our most intimate likes, dislikes, our personality, you know, who we are. And the Most High knows all of that in each individual. That's why it says in the Apocrypha, don't think, you know, when you go off, you know, and say, you know, how's the Lord going to remember me in the midst of so many people? The Lord knows everybody. Everybody is in the Most High's database, because a database can only work through electronics, you know, through surge of power. And the Most High is a consuming fire. He is the Father of all spirits. So he is that major computer, so to speak, that all of us, which are components of that computer, are connected to. And he knows every last one of us. He knows everything about us, you know, every single, you know, he knows things about us that we don't know about ourselves. So this is what Esau is trying to do, and trying to be like the Most High. That's why she said I'm just paraphrasing what she said, but the most effective, the artificial intelligence is more effective, or most effective, by the most information or data that it collects. And that's why everything you see now with the smartphones and the smart this and smart that is used, you know, on a small scale to collect data from each individual pretty much in the world, you know, the world citizens, because they're trying to be like the Most High. That's why you'll probably so-called use your credit card, or debit card. You'll go online, search for something. Let's say you need some kicks, some new kicks. You go online, whether you need shoes or tennis shoes or sneakers or whatever the case is. You know, you type in and punch in certain things, or you're looking for a particular part for your car, or you're looking for a particular herb, you know, or something like that, some type of tea, or some type of juice, or some type of, you know, incense or perfume or whatever the case is. Then you go on YouTube and you're scrolling through your recommended videos and you see a whole bunch of articles based off of what you were looking for on Google maybe 20 minutes ago, an hour ago. So what they're doing is they're collecting data on each individual person. This is why when YouTube transitioned into being owned by Google, what did they want? They wanted everybody's phone number as a way to sign in to, you know, to your account. Why? So that they can connect your phone with YouTube, with Google, and collect a database on you. They were very successful with Facebook, but not everybody has a Facebook account. I mean, pretty much everybody and their mama got a smartphone. You know, even homeless people in the streets have smartphones. And you better believe that they go on the web, you know, they search certain things, and they're building up a profile on each individual person. And that's why they want everything to be digitalized. Right now, they're pushing for the new stimulus package to be done in digital dollars or something along those lines. Why do you think that is? To put the people in a corner, and because of their need, they're going to accept, you know, they're going to accept that form of payment so that they can survive, so they can pay their bills, so that they can eat, you know? So there's going to be a push for deception, and a majority of people are going to be deceived, but then it's going to get to the point where they're going to go into mandatory, because the ones that don't comply, they plan on putting them to death and executing them. You see? So in order for that to happen, they will have to make it at a certain point mandatory, but for the most part, it's going to be voluntary, because it's going to be done through deception, through these miracles that these devils have, you know, and how they work their miracle and their magic on the media and on the masses of the people. You know, casting these spells on these people to accept this way as a matter of convenience. Like yesterday, I had to pay my mother's cable bill, so she gave me her debit card. I went, and I was having a hard time at the kiosk, you know. It was giving me a hard time. I had to go back between two kiosks, and then finally I got it to work, because it was freezing up. It was acting stupid. So when I got it, after a period of time, I finally got it, paid her bill, got the receipt, jumped in my truck. I paid mine from my phone through my debit card, and guess what? Within a minute or so, my transaction was done. So they're doing certain things to frustrate people. Like Elder Pastor spoke about him having to use his credit card or his debit card because the line for cash was too long. And they're doing that to what's the word I'm looking for? To frustrate people and not wanting to use cash, because it's not a matter of convenience anymore. So this whole mark of the beast, the microchip, you know, is going to be used as a form of convenience, and that is a part of the deception. These vaccines and all this technology, this AI technology, bio this and bio that, is being used as a form of convenience. You get certain implants, you know, and possibly those implants can or will rewire your system to where you're able to get rid of disease. Matter of convenience, you know. You know, the benefits of it. Oh, you should get it, girl. You should get it, dude. You know, because, you know, I had so-and-so and such, and it's all gone now. I'm good, man. Remember, I used to be 300 pounds. I just lost 100 pounds. I'm trying to live. Pun intended. Pun 2 times if you get the joke. So it's going to be as a thing of a matter of convenience. You know, she also spoke about them tracking, you know, what you eat. So how can they really do that if you're not using your debit card to purchase these things? Well, by having the surveillance being done internally through the microchip, which is the mark of the beast. You know, so these devils have been hard at work. The Spirit of the Lord has turned them up. As the scriptures say, knowledge shall increase. You know, they have been busy like that bee because the Lord got them busy on the left-hand side, you know, to push forward this agenda so that the Most High can implement the right side of it and checkmate this devil, you know. And, you know, I know we're talking about the mark of the beast and how the Lord is going to checkmate these devils, but just that since it popped in my head, this guy Vocab, ever since, you know, Elder Pastor and the rest of the brothers have been doing videos on replacement theology, Vocab has been very silent when it comes to the Hebrew Israelites. You know, pretty much. He's been very silent. The last few videos that he's done for the last, I think, 2 or 3 weeks, not really no mention of the Hebrew Israelites. When he was doing video after video, he was doing like 3 videos a week or 3 lives a week, something about the Hebrew Israelites. But ever since that replacement theology came out, his voice is very small. You know, I just wanted to throw that out there since it came to mind. Yeah, but that's what these devils are doing, pretty much collecting data because they want to be like the Most High. And the ultimate way for them to collect the most data through these chips, brain implants, is, or should I say the ultimate way for them to collect this data is to implant people with these RFID microchips or these brain chips, Neuralink or whatever, which is the mark of the beast, you know, so that they can be like the Most High, so that they can know the reigns of man. Reign meaning R-E-I-G-N, like when you reign or when you're in authority, when you're a king. So the reign is the passions that rule man, the passions that make up the character of the person who has that particular spirit, you know. And that's what Esau's trying to do. They're trying to gather all of that information so that they can be like the Most High. That's why it says no man shall buy or sell save he that has the mark or the number of his name, you know. So no way in hell Christianity and embargo and none of that other crap is the mark of the beast, you know. It's the microchip. It's something physical that you have to have in order to make these purchases. And that's why everything is being moved in that direction, you know. I mean, if there's a company, it must be a small company out there that are still using time clock, you know, the punch in and punch out, you know, that thing is pretty much obsolete now. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's still businesses that probably use it, you know, that are probably smaller businesses or whatever the case is, but that thing is a thing of the past. Now everybody has badges. Everybody has wristbands, you know, which Wendy Webb spoke about was implantables, wearables, and smart cities, you know, and that's all a part of the mark of the beast and the mark of the beast system, because the system is also being changed in order to comply with the technology or knowledge shall increase that they have. See, because if you can implant everybody, but the infrastructure is not set up for that, how can these people purchase if the infrastructure is still an infrastructure where people pay cash? That's why they're moving everything into digital. And every time you turn around, it's something to do with bio, something to do with digital, AI, you know, online purchasing, online business, because everything is being transferred online so that the microchip, which is the mark of the beast, can be implemented and all people can accept that chip or that implant and become subject to the international bankers, who are the ones that are going to benefit from this and that are benefiting right now in this so-called pandemic, where all the small businesses are going under, but all of the big businesses have been open through the whole cornholio, as Apostle Tar calls it. This guy calls it cornholio. Jeff Berwick, I believe his name is. You know, and Jason Burmis calls it COVID 1984. So that pretty much has been something that these devils use to enrich themselves even far beyond, you know, what they've thought that they would, because they never thought that this was going to work. These were just experiments. But what they don't understand is that these experiments come from Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. And that's why it worked, because it's pushing forward the agenda. And this is what, you know, needs to be done, because the scripture says, hasten the day of the Lord. The day of the Lord cannot come, World War III cannot come, unless the microchip is implemented fully upon the planet. Whether voluntary through deception, which is going to be mostly how they do it, or towards the end of it, mandatory, so that those that don't accept, you know, will be put to death. Save the Lord, you know, sets those of the elect of the nation of Israel aside, and won't accept that, and will be protected still, because the Lord will lift up that standard. So with that, you know, like I said, I was just listening to it, and these different thoughts came to mind. So, you know, I decided to commit it to video through the Spirit, and the Spirit worked with me. Hopefully this was edifying. Just keep your eye out for this whole AI, digital surveillance, implantable wearables, you know, digital currency, because all of this is leading towards, you know, the end, and towards the implementation of the mark of the beast, which is the microchip, whether it's in the hand or in the forehead or wherever. So with that, I pray that your brothers have been edified. Till the next time I say shalom.